National PSI Exam Prep, page 46. C. Properties/units are transferred by deed. D. Each unit and its common element percentage is taxed as a separate parcel. 2. Cooperatives. A. Cooperative ownership is ownership of the building by a corporation, which in turn leases space to shareholders who own stock in the corporation. B. Buyers receive corporate bylaws, shares of stock, and a proprietary lease for their unit and their share of the common elements. C. Because there is no ownership of the unit, the buyer does not receive a deed. D. The owner pays assessments and association fees. E. Just as in a condominium association, owners may have to get permission from the other owners to sell their unit. First right of refusal. 3. Timeshares. A. A timeshare is a common interest ownership form in which multiple owners have interest in a property for a certain period each year. B. Timeshares are most commonly used for resort-type properties. Page 47. Unit 7. Land use controls and regulations. Test questions. Salesperson 5. Broker 5. Page 48. Roman numeral 1. Government's rights in land. Pete. A. Police power. 1. Enacts and enforces laws governing land use, public control of land. 2. Examples including zoning, building codes, planning, and safety codes. 3. Enforced by requiring building permits, building inspections, certificates of occupancy, and so forth. B. Eminent domain. 1. Eminent domain is the right to take private land for public use. 2. Condemnation is the process. 3. Fair compensation includes property value plus damages. 4. Inverse condemnation. An owner initiates a court action seeking the government to pay fair compensation when her property has been substantially interfered with. C. Collect property taxes and special assessments. 1. Property taxes. A. Ad valorem. At assessed value. Taxes are based on assessed value, not on current market value. B. Tax rate may be expressed as mill rate, percentage rate, or decimal. C. Typically, properties are reassessed on an annual basis. Property owners that believe the assessment is incorrect may appeal to an assessor's appeal board. 2. Special assessments. Lien against specific properties that benefit from public improvement. A. Paid with property taxes and enforced by a lien. B. Reading the assessment roll will tell if there is a special assessment lien on the property. Three. Property taxes and special assessments take priority over other liens. D. Escheat. 1. Government's reversionary right. A. Abandoned property or property of intestate owners will, with no heirs, may revert to the government. Page 49. Roman numeral 2. Government controls based in police power, zoning, etc. A. Zoning controls set at a local level. 1. Master plan is used to control growth. 2. Zoning determines type of use: residential, commercial, industrial/manufacturing, agricultural, or mixed. A. Special land types include floodplains, coastal preservation, and other special use classifications that may be regulated at a county, state, or federal level. 3. Buffer zone is an area of land, for instance a park, that separates two drastically different land use zones. 4. Rezoning or amendment in a zoning change for an entire area. 5. Non-conforming use allows an owner to continue present use that no longer complies with current zoning, which is grandfathering. A. Example: a retail store surrounded by residential property would have been grandfathered in when the zoning changed. B. Typically can expand or rebuild as non-conforming use if property is destroyed. 6. Setbacks: front, side, and rear restrict the location of improvements in relation to the boundaries of the property. 7. Variance allows individual owner to vary or deviate to prevent economic hardship, used when an owner wants to vary from building codes or build into a setback. 8. Special conditional use, also called a special exemption. Specific type of variance allows a different use. For instance, daycare in residential zoning. A. It allows the owner to deviate from zoning regulations, not from deed restriction or building codes. B. Buyers who wish to continue the use or are not sure if a use is allowed should check with the zoning department prior to buying. 9. Any special use zoning must be disclosed to buyers, for instance, tax districts or airport flight paths. B. Building codes or standards and certificates of occupancy. 1. Building codes deal with structural integrity and safety of a building. For instance, minimum number of bathrooms per square foot in a commercial building. A. Determine the types of construction materials that can be used. 1. Set standards for types of materials and how they are used. 2. provides separate codes for plumbing, electrical, fire, and so forth.